Hi guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. Do you know where the bell notification is? Yeah. Today we're gonna tell you about how we survived colic and reflux because our baby was a handful.
It's a handful. Also be quiet because he's sleeping.
Talk about how we knew he had reflux.
Hold on. Reflux is like this. Okay, so reflux.
We're gonna talk about how we knew he had reflux.
You are very loud, you're waking the child.
What we tried and what actually worked, because as first-time moms, we were so lost and so frustrated, and it just, if we could help someone else go through kind of what we did but on a lesser amount. We literally cried ourselves to sleep with him most nights.
I most certainly did.
Yeah. A lot of ways we
Someone tapped me.
Never worked with a baby that had a lot of colic or reflux, because I say it weird according to Lauren.
She says reflux.
But there were different things that we were able to look up and talk to other people to find out that's kind of what it was. And I would say the biggest thing is inconsolable. There was like his 4th night home, inconsolable.
No one slept.
No one slept for weeks. It was so inconsolable. It was high-pitched screaming. Nothing you did stopped it. And it just kind of kept progressing and getting worse.
Yes, it was horrendous. No one slept. Nothing made him better. So we knew something was up that way. And then we went to the pediatrician the next day.
Yeah.
So like we already knew we were going to
But the worst part of all of it was that when we started reaching out to people, they're like, oh, you're just new parents. You're not going to sleep. He's going to cry. And we were like, no, like this seems like something different. And they were like,
irritating.
Yeah. They just kept saying like, oh, you're a new parent. Like you don't understand like babies cry.
And I was like, no, I'm a pediatric nurse. I literally help parents with their kids and help teach them how to raise them and what to look out for, and I know this wasn't normal. And
it's frustrating because like we even went to the doctor and the doctor said the same thing. She's like, well, you can try a different formula, but like it's a new baby. They're gonna cry. And we just got so frustrated and so upset because no one was listening, and it was just like reliving when I got diagnosed with diabetes. You have to advocate so much for yourself that it's ridiculous.
Did you just want to be in the video?
Yeah, you say hi. Another way we kind of figured it out was he constantly had hiccups.
That he did. I see a lot of hiccups. He was also, when he would lay down his bassinet, he would just start randomly swallowing, and I'm like, there's nothing in your mouth. It was his poor little reflux coming up.
What if you hear, like he's grunting? He grunts a lot, and we kept getting the, oh, baby's grunt. Baby's grunt, but not to the extent that he was.
No, this boy wakes himself up out of sleep. We joke he's a mermaid because he's in a sleep sack, and we look over and his little feet are up. And so it's a sack, so it looks like a little mermaid up in the middle of the night. It just, baby's grunt.
And we finally started recording it so they could see it because we got the same, well, baby's grunt. Okay, babies don't grunt this much.
So then I started going and flexing that I'm a nurse and I work in healthcare, and stop BSing me. Like, yeah. I know what's normal and what's not.
Around like the 4-week mark, we started really talking to our friends, and no one was having this many issues with their baby, and everyone's stories of like their newborn, because we had like 4 friends who had babies like right around the same time. Everyone had a way different experience, but their experiences were all the same, and their babies didn't have colic, they didn't have reflux, they weren't crying and throwing up after every feed, they weren't inconsolable all night, waking up every 20 minutes screaming, you know. And that's when we were like, we have to like start advocating because no one else is having this. Like I'm actively reaching out to my friends who have babies at the same time. One of my friends had a baby 2 days before, and then Desiree had a baby shortly after, and again, no one had the same issue. And that's when we really started advocating, and that's when we got famotidine, and we'll go back into it in a minute, but that's where we got like the medicine, the prescriptions, and they really started listening to us was when we kept going.
Baby spit up, okay? He spit up a lot, but when he threw up, yeah. Like there's spit up and then there's vomiting. And my boy projectile vomited a lot. And then that one nurse practitioner really irritated me. She's like, he's not throwing up his whole feed, he's gaining weight. No, he is throwing up his whole feed.
He is, all of it.
But we feed him a lot, so yes, he's still gaining weight. 2 projectile vomits a day is not going to
We
make
had
him.
one doctor that was just so condescending, and it was basically like we were stupid.
She didn't know what she was doing, and I picked up on that really quickly. She didn't know.
And she asked Lauren, and Lauren's like, yeah, I'm a nurse. And then she looks at me, and she's like, are you in the healthcare field? And I said no, and then all of a sudden, I didn't exist in that room. It was her and Lauren. It was so annoying.
Well, she didn't. Well, I think she was very self-conscious, number one, that I said I was a nurse.
Yeah.
And then number two, she did not know what she was, like, she didn't have an answer for us, and she was trying to, like,
come up with something. And then Lauren's actively shit-talking her as we are in the parking lot, and she's behind us.
yeah. Because, again,
She was this out. She didn't know how much medicine he needed.
She was so frazzled. She's like, oh, wait, he can go on medicine, and da-da.
And Lauren sits around and she's shit-talking, and
I was
she's like
massively
standing right
shit-talking.
there.
I've gotten in trouble recently for that one, too.
For all the reasons that we knew he had reflux, and we even started like getting books about it because we were literally searching for everything, because once we found out that like our baby was not like anyone else's, that's when we got a little more concerned. But here are all the things we tried. Some of them worked, some of them didn't, so hopefully this will help one of you. The biggest difference is we tried every single formula.
We started out with, like, Gentilese.
And that wasn't like per us. The doctor was telling us to switch
We
it.
did Gentilese. Then we did Sensitive. Then we did...
Soy, which messed him up.
That was a hot mess. No.
He didn't go to the bathroom for days.
We tried soy. We tried Nutramigen. He did not.
He protested.
He heavily protested. He wouldn't drink that. We tried, what is it, Kindamil? It's a UK formula.
the UK formula that everyone raved about.
But however, it's just made with it's whole milk. It's very milk heavy. We're pretty sure he has a dairy allergy, so that was a no-go. That was rough. And now he's on Almentum, which seems
It's
to
like
work.
pre-made, so it's thinner, night and day difference.
And it's like the proteins are broken down. It's like non-dairy. It does work. He also does breast milk, and we're trying to do more breast milk than formula since I'm making more. And he does well with that. I just have to limit my dairy intake.
We tried different medicines that the pediatrician was telling us to do. He's on like 4 currently. He's
on 5.
5.
Well,
they started us on gas drops. What's it called?
Simethicone.
Yeah. And then gripe water. And then probiotic.
Which I need to do. And then the famotidine.
Yeah, we got a prescription for famotidine.
And then he does vitamin D. That's every breastfed baby.
We tried different bottles. I was so dead set on trying the Comotomo bottles.
She was.
And it drowned him.
It was a massive fail. He had horrendous gas for 2 days. I will say it took a while for me to convince you that that's what the issue was, because you really wanted those bottles so bad.
Well, I wanted them to work because at some point you're constantly searching for something to be the answer.
He does well with Dr. Brown.
Yeah. Well, now we have to go up because he's eating more than 4 ounces.
I know, which will be fun, but.
Different positions, and we tried like patting him on his tummy. We
did
tried
the bicycles.
But we tried the windy, and we cannot to this day get it to work. We tried to use it this morning because he was super gassy.
I don't know like what the deal is. It doesn't work with him. There's no whistle. There's nothing.
Nothing. It does nothing except stick it in his butt.
There's no way we can do it wrong. We massage his belly. We do all the things.
Yeah, it doesn't work for him.
It doesn't work for him. Some babies, they just boosh. Him, no. I think he's a lot of trapped gas. I don't know.
Yeah. What worked for us when we were allowed to up the famotidine, we started seeing a massive difference because
I also split the dose up morning and night.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why he gets it twice a day.
Oh, but he will burp on his own now while he's either drinking or after he's drinking. We don't have to sit there and just burp and burp and burp until he pukes.
And there are big, they're big burps. The gas drops and the gripe water works.
They make a difference. And it's funny, he loves the gas drops. Like if he's crying before a bottle because we have to give it to him first, he'll stop crying once he gets the gas drops because he likes it.
I don't know what the gripe water does, to be honest.
I don't either.
But
we were just told to give it to him. New formula definitely made a difference for us. I feel like, didn't you say because it's like broken down more? It looks not as thick, which is easier on his belly.
It's more broken down in terms of like proteins and all that. There's not dairy. It's really good for babies with allergies and stuff. And he does fantastic with it.
You started limiting your dairy like intake.
Which sucks, but yes.
It does. It's a little hard to come up with meals, but.
Because I love like mac and cheese and pizza and stuff. And I still do cheat and have some, but like I'll pump right before I eat it or like while I'm eating it before it's my bloodstream, that kind of thing. Yeah, I did like the pitcher method, so like it mixes so it's not a straight dairy.
We do baths. He loves baths first. He loves them. Like at 6 weeks, he's kicking and he's splashing. He loves it.
I think the kicking helps with his belly too.
Yeah, but he does so much better, and I can kind of put him on my hand with his tummy, and it helps with the water. Or I hold him and I take the pitcher. Oh, that has water in it.
Yes.
I take the pitcher and I slowly drizzle it on his stomach, and that also helps him start passing gas a lot. And he usually ends up going to the bathroom in the tub, so we drain it and clean it, obviously. But like, just that on his tummy seems to help a lot.
White noise. This boy.
We can't do anything without white noise.
He's like his mama. I can't either. I can't have silence. He can't have silence. He cannot sleep in silence. There has to be white noise. It has to be right next to his head and very loud.
Yeah, we started that from day one. Before we even found out he had this stuff, we were just, Lauren's always has white noise with her.
We have a humidifier or air purifier in our room, so there's constant white noise in our room.
When I first met her, she would take naps in random places and put white noise on. It didn't matter where we were. So it kind of got passed down to him. Yeah. He just started taking a pacifier and like actively wanting it, and he just turned 7 weeks.
6 weeks. Don't age
6.
Don't age my baby.
And by the time you see this, he will be 7 weeks.
Ooh, that's a lot of toots.
But he has started crying more for it, and when we give it to him, he stops. It did take us a while to find one. We like the soothing ones from Advent, but he can't sleep with them because they're so heavy, they fall out. So we got like the 99-cent ones from Walmart, and he loves them. And I spent like $30 on Passies trying to find the right one. There was one on Amazon that every colic mom was like, you have to get, you have to get. Yeah, and it mimics the breast. But again, it was too heavy for him. And also, yeah, it mimics it, but it was so flimsy that when you suck, it just kind of like collapsed.
Oh, it's so flimsy.
Just had to let time take its toll. Like everyone kept saying like, you have to wait it out. Bad as it is, you do, I think, just have to wait it out because it got so bad and nothing we were doing was working, but we also were upset and we were stressing and we were trying to find for answers, but also with time, it's progressively gotten a little better. Or we've just gotten better at handling it.
Yeah. I think as their digestive system matures, it gets better. You just have to wait.
Like, don't get me wrong. He still has nights where he's inconsolable.
Last night.
He still has nights where he's been up since 8 a.m. It is now 4 p.m. Where he's got so much gas, he will not break.
And he has to nap. Like, newborns nap, and this buddy won't.
He won't when he's got gas. Or earlier when I tried to feed him his bottle, he had ½ an ounce because he was too refluxy. Like every time I try to feed him, he'd burp and it would just come right back up. So he's 6 weeks and still struggles with it. But from day 1 to now, it's slowly gotten better. Oh, also one thing that's really soothed him, I would say like anytime he's inconsolable and I personally can't get him to stop, the human pacifier calms him down.
The boob.
I don't know why.
He'll suck and then he'll pull, not very long, and then he will literally fall asleep laying on my boob.
And that even when he's like purely inconsolable, that will get him to calm down. He tries to do it to me too, but I don't let him.
It's just comfort.
But we hope this helps someone. We were so lost and upset when we had this happen and no one was listening to us. We wanted someone else to know that if you're going through this, it's not just you. And it's something that a lot of doctors and people don't talk about.
Also, advocate for your child.
You have to.
Advocate.
The only way we got that famotidine was by advocating and going back to the doctor.
I went in and I cried.
She did.
I was just like, I felt horrible for him. I was like, I want something. I don't care if he's too young. We're going to figure it out.
I mean,
and then our practitioner was like, oh, no. They made me go through it too. She goes, nope, I'll give it to you right now. I said, thank you, because...
And we actually had more luck with nurse practitioners than doctors.
Well, I like nurse practitioners better.
Yeah. But it also is one of those things where you cry with the baby, but it's also really hard to watch your kid be inconsolable and you watch them and you know they're in pain and you're trying to figure out how to help, but you don't know.
I know. I would take the pain away. I would take it in a heartbeat.
So I hope this helps someone.
Granted, he gave me all the gas and the GERD and the reflux when I was pregnant.
That's true. Well, also, you have horrific GERD not pregnant. So the fact that he ended up with something with gas, I'm not really shocked.
I was like that as a baby. So we were kind of prepared. I did warn her that me as a baby, I was like this. I had to have the specialty Nutramigen formula. I was allergic to dairy. I was allergic to a bunch of foods. I broke out in rashes all the time because of my allergies. So like...
ADHD brain. One other thing that how we figured out he had this was he was losing too much weight. And we had to go back for a solid week for
Weight
checks every other day because he was losing too much, and it was because he was spitting up and throwing up and not
then
eating.
he wouldn't eat because he was so uncomfortable.
Yeah, and that was in the first week of life. So that was another reason we were like, something is off, and the doctor was like, oh, you're losing way too much weight.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, good luck.